people who report things, mostly that are bullshit. See, you call it envy, whatever the fuck it is. My relationship with Scott Colton ended long before I paid all of his bills. I have every receipt. Responsible people who call themselves EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target, and they spread lies and bullshit and put into a media that I got somebody fired when I have fuck all to do with him. What did I ever do in this world to deserve an empty-headed fucking dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page to go out on national television and fucking go into business for himself? EVPs and couldn't fucking manage a target. Dumb fuck like Hangman Adam Page, because he wants me to work with pricks constantly. That's what it is. I don't know. I'm tired of wrestling these pricks. I'm tired of wrestling these kids that think they know everything.
Well, things have gotten really interesting in AEW, haven't they? So with all the backstage rumors that have been going on ever since Adam Hangman Page and CM Punk were in their feud and all the issues they had, CM Punk decided after winning the AEW World Heavyweight title to absolutely shit on the Elite, Hangman Page, Colt Cabana, and God knows how many other individuals, MJF included, and a bunch of the young guys in the AEW locker room. Probably the only time you've seen somebody so pissed off after winning the world title. So now with what has transpired after All Out, the media scrum, all that CM Punk had to say, now the rumors today, as I'm re-recording this video because of the news that dropped today, we're a few hours out from Dynamite going live. The news coming out today is that the Elite and others have been suspended. There's a suspension coming maybe for Ace Steel and CM Punk. If not, they may be terminated from the company. They've all seemingly been pulled from tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. So, as before, I thought this may have been a this may have been a storyline. Now, there is a slight possibility that it is still a storyline. The journalists are in on it, Meltzer and Alvarez. But if it is probably the most amazingly put together and most realistic storyline we have ever seen in the history of professional wrestling. And if they're able to pull this one off, wow, kudos to AEW. But it seemingly seems like right now AEW is on fire, it's burning, and all hands are on deck, and it's damage control time in AEW, because this seemingly seems like this is a real thing. And this next clip I'm going to show you guys is what makes me think that this is real. It is at the end of Jericho's portion of talking to the media. He shakes Tony Khan's hand, and Tony Khan seemingly says something to him that something is going on backstage. This could be in reference to the altercation that happened between Ace Steel biting people backstage, the Bucks and the Elite with CM Punk and others, and all these people getting suspended from this altercation that took place in the backstage during the media scrum after CM Punk's portion.
Hey, I'll meet you in my office. Thanks.
Even though he may not have been that successful in the UFC, he still has quite a bit of fight combat training in terms of, hand-to-hand combat. So shout out to the Elite for actually going head-to-head with this man. And Ace Steel, I mean, the guy's a mauler, a nibbler. He's out there chomping on dudes. So, I mean, there's a lot going on there. We could see maybe legal issues coming from this. A lot of different stuff may come from this going forward. Right now, I'm going to show you the clip of where seemingly the issue started between Hangman Page and CM Punk that led to what CM Punk had to say about Adam Hangman Page in this media scrum.
You talk a big game about workers' rights, yeah? Well, you've shown the exact opposite since you've gotten here.
So seemingly going into a business for himself, and you can tell by Tony Schiavone's face, if you see it in the background, that some of this seems off limits and not supposed to be talked about on air. So this is interesting. This is what started the whole issues between these two, and what led subsequently on to the issues between them and the Elite and everybody else. So this seems like it's a real thing. It seems like AEW is burning. Tony Khan has lost complete control of the company in his locker room, and there's only a couple individuals back there who seem to be okay with everything that's going on. Are we going to get a mass exodus of talent? Is CM Punk going to be fired? Are they going to have to relinquish the title? What happens to MJF going forward in his title run, his chance at the title from winning the casino ladder match? What are we going to get coming out of this? It's probably the most interesting thing going forward. Tonight's Dynamite is going to be super interesting, guys. So seemingly Tony Khan has lost complete control over his product and his locker room, as I said. Now, what does this mean for AEW going forward? Are they going to be able to keep talent? Or are they going to have to overhaul completely their corporate structure and try to figure this out more so not so many talent are in charge of so many things, and it's more, I guess you would call it, suits that are in charge of most of the backstage stuff. This is going to be interesting to see how this portrays going forward, because again, Tony Khan has put wrestlers in charge of a lot of things. So is that the best thing for them, or is it just the individuals he's brought in that are causing, you know, all the trouble? Is it CM Punk to blame? Is it Tony Khan to blame? Is it the Elite, or is it Hangman Page to blame here? I think blame falls on all parties involved, but the most blame has to fall on Tony Khan, because the buck's supposed to stop with him. So if this all happened, he let this transpire on live, you know, YouTube television, and people actually see it on YouTube and continue the media scrum going forward with that, and letting CM Punk rattle off all the stuff he was allowed to say, and then still calling him a sweetheart after he left, still pandering to him after he left.
Thanks, Phil.
Contrary to popular belief, I'm a very nice guy. Thank you.
He's a sweetheart. He's a sweetheart.
If this is real, Tony Khan has made a giant misstep, and he may have cost the company millions of dollars and a lot more going forward. Talent, prospective talent, current talent. Malachi Black has already obviously wanted to leave for other issues. So could we get more of that? More individuals asking for their release because of a toxic work environment backstage, and individuals not getting along? Because again, we've seen this happen in WWE before. Vince has let Shawn Michaels get away with murder before. The stuff with Vader, you know, in their match. The stuff at the WrestleMania 14 press conference where he didn't want to come out. There's a lot of stuff he's let guys get away with murder, all the toxic backstage stuff that's gone on in WWE. It seems to be just a product of the environment that is professional wrestling, but Tony Khan was going to have to put a stop to this. He's going to have to do something, because if not, AEW is in for a world of hurt. But I have a tough time believing that Tony Khan is that dumb to let that actually be aired out if it's real. For CM Punk to say everything you heard him say and that be real. Now, the issues stem from obviously Colt Cabana and his personal stuff with CM Punk and the lawsuit that he had against WWE, and then subsequent lawsuit against each other. Now, that's a real thing, so that's being incorporated. That's a real life issue. The stuff with Adam Hangman Page, supposedly Hangman Page says, I don't need your advice. I know what I'm doing. He's tired of these young guys. That's what CM Punk says. He's tired of these young guys in the locker room thinking they know everything. And that's something we heard old-time wrestlers say that previously as well, that people who aren't receptive of the advice, of the knowledge, of the wisdom brought down to them by older, more established veteran talent. That's obviously a bad look for a younger guy in the locker room. So if that is true, then that's a big-time no-no from Adam Hangman Page, and that's why CM Punk decided to shit on him the way that he did. But my God, the soap opera of this, the soap opera-ness of this, it's amazing. The backstage drama, the supposed infighting, the supposed physical altercations in the backstage between the Elite, CM Punk, and others. Who else was CM Punk referring to when he talks about these pricks and these young guys in the backstage? Because there's a lot of young guys on the AEW roster now. If you thought that CM Punk, why the hell did you sign with the company? Is this just CM Punk being CM Punk? Is he an individual who just no matter where he goes, he's going to start issues with anybody and everybody involved? Is Tony Khan really that out of control of his company? He's letting these guys run wild. Now let's get to Tony Khan. He's not that dumb. That's why I think this may be a storyline. I'm hoping it's not, because it's way more interesting and there's way more content coming from it if it isn't a storyline. Now, we've seen the way this man hugs other individuals, especially individuals on his roster. We've seen the faces this man makes when he hugs these individuals and embraces them. So he's obviously a massive mark for a lot of his own talent. Now, the problem is he made his own talent, some of his own talent, executive vice presidents by title only. But that still holds a little bit of weight out there in the locker room. This might have been his biggest mistake. And he may be paying for it now if this is true. Because we've heard issues between Jamie Hayter and Thunder Rosa. That's why Thunder Rosa is supposedly gone due to injury. Now, CM Punk goes on to say that Adam Hangman Page went into business for himself and jeopardized the first $1 million house the company's had in the pay-per-view. And the rumors are being spread from the Elite, the executive vice presidents, the Young Bucks, and Kenny Omega about the issues in him, CM Punk supposedly getting Colt Cabana fired from AEW. Because CM Punk may be the cause of this. Not even CM Punk, but Tony Khan, for the environment that he's allowed to be created backstage by being a mark for his own wrestlers and letting these guys get away with murder if Tony Khan cannot control his locker room, his wrestlers, and his talent. Especially after Warner Discovery merger, these individuals are all under that umbrella because they do work for a television company, so that could play a big part into this as well. And the main question is, at the end of this, if it's real, who leaves? Who's gone? How does AEW change going forward? We heard Chris Jericho say they have, multiple backstage meetings talking about what this means to the wrestlers, what they should be thinking about, what they should be prioritizing when it comes to the on-screen product, and the chance, the opportunity that they have right now, being in the position that they're in on live television with a major TV deal and a major multi-million-dollar company being showcased around the United States of America. So to jeopardize that, and if CM Punk is the culprit or if the EVPs are the culprit, then you know what? Cody Rhodes is right to leave. So Cody Rhodes may have been right in the end. His move to WWE may have been the right move for him, and he may have seen the writing on the wall, and it all may be true. So there went the big storyline of MJF being the Joker. He's going to challenge CM Punk. He's back in AEW. That was all squandered and thrown to the side in a secondary storyline after what CM Punk did and said at the media scrum after All Out. So let me know, guys, what you think is going to go down on Dynamite tonight. What you think coming out of Dynamite tonight? Is this real? Is this fake? What's going to happen with MJF? What's going to happen with CM Punk? Is he gone? Is AEW still going to be able to come back from this later on? And all this stuff going on, what do you think? Let me know. I'd love to hear you guys' comments in this comment section below. Thank you guys for watching another video on the Rated R for Wrestling channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.